Sama the Hammer. I heard a story of how Coach K was coaching a youth basketball clinic, and it was like one of his last coaching sessions of his lifetime, and he kicked out disruptive he kicked out disruptive kids, and this is a world-class basketball coach, so don't hesitate, right? Don't hesitate to kick out the kids who are making learning difficult for the other players, right? And especially if this may be hard to do, but it's like, what are you gonna do? Let one or two kids ruin the whole training session for the rest of the kids? So that's the first place I would start. The second thing is, you could run this is the Tom Turnbull skills and drills practice session that you can run with your players. And why this is effective is because since it's skills and drills based, and since it focuses on individual player development in the form of skills games, each player can improve at their own pace. So the session looks like this, right? So it's ball mastery, dribbling sequences, juggling games, and then it's finished with 1v1 to cones. So each practice you kind of teach one ball mastery move, and so the tempo is for each practice following this practice is review the moves you've learned in the past, and then learn a new move. So you could say, right, or you could search Cover Coaching. It's a free app. I think it's a freemium style app on the App Store or Android Store, whatever, or just YouTube. Cover Coaching, Coerver. So you teach. So it's like, okay, now everyone show me your toe touches, or everyone showed me your inside of the foot, or everyone showed me your chop, or show me the cut. And then, so the next practice you say, okay, everyone show me the chop, everyone show me the drag back, and then, okay, now we're gonna learn the Cruyff, or something. You just learn one a day, and then you review the ones from the past, right? So by the end of the season, your whole team should be able to master 15, 20, 25, 30 different moves if you have some practicing on with some consistency. Next you go into dribbling sequences. So the one that I talk a lot about is the one that is one of the first dribbling sequences Tom Turnbull taught us when I went to start going to his classes at like 6 years old. And it goes outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. The last touch cuts the ball across the body, and then you repeat that same sequence with your other foot. Outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And the key is to say it out loud while you're doing it. So I used to tell my middle school team, I would say, this is a Tom Turnbull. I'd show them the sequence, I'd demo it for them, and then I'd say, I want you to say it out loud when you're doing it, and I want you guys to do this around the whole entire field. So we had a tiny field, so I'd say, okay, 2 laps around the whole field, doing the Tom Turnbull dribbling sequence. Outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And you should hear every single player saying it out loud as they're doing it, right? And you gotta tell them slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You tell them to take their time, and you tell them the smoother you go, and the more you take your time, the faster you're gonna be able to do it in games. And even when you tell them to go slow in the beginning, right? Kids naturally, some of them will naturally try and go faster. But really encourage them to take it slow, right? Nice and easy. Feel the ball. Outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Nice and easy. Okay, So you do 15 minutes of that. And then the next part of this training practice session is the barrel game. And I love, even 27 years later, whatever, 25 years later, this game is so much fun. It's so simple, and it's just so effective because what's teaching is it's teaching juggling with forward ambulation. Forward ambulation just means juggling while moving forward. So if you have a garbage can or you have a barrel and you have access to, let's say you have access to the whole field, most soccer fields have that circle, right? They have the big circle in the middle of the field. So what I would do is I would bring a landscaper barrel from home, and I would put it in the middle of the field. And the sequence is, if these kids have poor fundamentals, right, most of them except for those 4 that you said have strong abilities, you tell them with their the sequence goes right foot with a bounce, they got to juggle into the barrel. Then left foot with a bounce, they juggle into the barrel. Then it's both feet alternating with a bounce. Then right thigh, left thigh, both thighs alternating. And then you finish with any part of the body you want, with or without a bounce, right? So this game is beautiful is because the players who have poor abilities can start closer to the barrel and they can use a bounce. The more advanced players, they can start from further away and they can remove the bounce, right? So as your players get better at the game, you start to remove the bounce and you could start to use more challenging balls. But you kind of want to show them what victory, like what winning looks like. Like you want to show them how right, you want to make it challenging, but you make it too hard, it might kind of deter the growth. So you kind of want to create a positive feedback loop. So what I mean is you want to start them fairly close to the barrel in the beginning and have them go at their own pace. Right, at Tom Turnbull, he would kind of do, it would be more regimented, right? So he would, because he would be taking tallies of who won. But since I coached so many players at the same time, I would have all the players go at their same pace, and I think this was helpful because it didn't hinder some of the better players from going through the whole entire session, right? Some of the kids who are decent on my team, they would some of my players who are decent, they could get through that whole progression, right? Right foot, left foot, both feet alternating, right thigh, left thigh, both thighs alternating, and then finish with finish with any body part they wanted. Some of the players on the team, would struggle with just their right foot, and they'd be working on that for the entirety of the whole 15 minutes of said barrel game, right? Okay, so you do that 10-15 minutes, and keep in mind it's helpful if you can demonstrate this yourself, right? Because it's monkey see, monkey do. Once players see a model, they say, oh, that looks easy enough. But if you can't show them, right, some people have a hard time visualizing what it's supposed to look like. So it's helpful if you could actually, even with a bouncy ball or something, and you're 2 steps away, show them how to put the ball in the barrel using your body. And then lastly, you finish with 1v1 to cones. So you make your better players play against each other, right? There's maybe 3 rounds of 1v1, 5 minutes each, or however long, right? Maybe 4 or 5 minutes each, and they switch 3 times. That's 15 minutes right there. And then, after the first 5-minute game, everyone switches, and all you do is with tall cones, the ones that you can knock over with the ball, you have kids play 1v1 with the cones fairly close together, and that's a session, right? Maybe finish with a cool down or some stretching if you're you got to instill good habits, right? Good warm up, good cool down, and that's it, right? So every practice, right? I did this format. Tom Turnbull would do the same style, the same progression every training session, right? It was ball mastery, dribbling sequences, juggling games, right? Barrel game, and then finish with 1v1 to cones. So this is a game. This is something that you could do every single practice, and it's going to help your team, and it's even going to help. It's going to help your not strong players get better, and it's going to help the best players get even better too. So I think this is a game that is really going to help you just have more fun coaching. It's going to make it more enjoyable. So hopefully this helps. Reach out with any questions. All right, thanks.